The following is a presentation of the Spartan Media Network.
Welcome to the Spartan Media Network from Playfly Sports.
Lob past Cooper. Oh, he slams it right over the top of Golden. 15 on the shot clock. Fears down the lane. Right at Golden. Bank shot good. Oh, my goodness. What a play by Fears. Here's a three from the wing. It's good. MSU gets another three.
Jackson Kohler with his fourth three of this game.
He got it.
It is time for the Auto Owners Insurance presentation of the Tom Izzo Show. Tonight's show is sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance, Simply Human Sense. The Tom Izzo Show is also brought to you by Meyer, supporting hundreds of sports teams across the Midwest. Labatt Blue Light, we're brewed for the roast. SeatGeek, the official ticket marketplace of MSU Athletics. One North Kitchen and Bar, making good times great. Dean Trailways, the official ground transportation provider of Spartan Athletics. Make Dean Trailways your favorite ride. And Coors Light, choose chill. Now, with Michigan State head basketball coach Tom Izzo, here's the voice of Spartan basketball, Will Tieman.
And a pleasant good evening to everybody around the great state of Michigan and beyond. I'm also with my co-host, Mike Garland, and welcome into Tom's radio show. And, of course, we are live at One North Kitchen and Bar in East Lansing. If you want to join the audience for any of the MSU Coaches Shows, make your reservation by emailing coachesshows@onenorthdining.com. Well, MSU had a very, very important three-game homestand, won them all. And now we have to actually pack a suitcase. So how you doing, by the way?
I'm good. You know, it was a big homestand. I thought our fans were great. I thought our players played pretty well. If I looked at the 6 halves, I thought we played 4.5 really good halves of basketball. And, we still made some mistakes, but as I told you, we're still not the team we need to be if we're going to accomplish what we'd like to accomplish. So, but the good news is, been great for Michigan State. Our hockey team, talked to Adam today. He's on his way to Wisconsin, and he's doing well. Robin goes out west and wins 2 out there. She's doing really well. And, we're leaving tomorrow for that West Coast trip. And so I talked to Pat yesterday, and they feel like they're signing some really good kids. So I think it's a good time to be a Spartan. And I'm going to stick with that tune.
So as we look at this trip that takes us to Washington, then Oregon, have you ever played in any of those buildings yet?
No, I haven't. That's kind of odd. I've been to Oregon State, not to play, to scout. I've been to Oregon once, but the new arena wasn't up then. It was a while ago. Washington, I've never been there. I've been in Seattle. We played an NCAA game there. You were with me then, right?
Yeah, we did. I can't remember what year.
Because that was when Howard Schultz, we went and practiced at their place. That was way back when the Sonics were there and he owned them. So, this is going to be an interesting trip, and it'll be Washington, it's really two different teams. They both have had a ton of injuries and suspensions and different things. And Washington, one of their starting guards, they got 2 guards from USC, and one of them broke his hand, is out for the year. That's happened for a while ago. The other one, I don't know, there's been some problems, I guess, and he didn't play at all in the last game or two. So who knows if he'll play tonight against Michigan, and then we play him. So, there's always some confusion. I told my team today, thank God I got what I got. Sometimes that drives me up the wall, but what I got is I got no problems. And I got good guys that, want to argue once in a while, and I don't blame them. And I still like when they argue, because then I know how much they care. So it's a good deal.
Well, they do care, there's no doubt. By the way, basketball fans, before or after the game, stop by One North Kitchen and Bar just 1 mile north of campus, free parking, and scratch cooking makes it a grand slam. You're dialed into the Tom Izzo Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance, right here on the Spartan Media Network.
Whoa. Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Talk about instead of
Just chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado beer.
There's a difference between an answer and a Michigan answer. It starts with our team and people like you. University of Michigan Health Sparrow is hiring for a wide variety of roles at all experience levels. Unlock your potential and discover a fulfilling career at one of our award-winning hospitals and health centers. We make a difference every day, together. Join us at careers.uofmhealthsparrow.org.
From the biggest of the big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go. Go!
Run, James!
No. First base!
Go, go, go! Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street. You're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
And welcome back to the Coach Tom Izzo Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Well, during the break, Tom asked if anybody had any questions, come on up and let them fire away. And we have a taker, Tom.
I love it.
Corinne from Lansing. And my question is not about Pro. Thank you. It's about Jaden Eakins coming to visit.
Yeah.
And did you know that he was coming?
Yeah.
And do you know in advance when any other players are coming?
Most of the time.
Do you?
Yeah.
It was
once in a while I get a surprise. Derek Nick shows up for no reason, and that there's always some good surprises. But Jaden Nick called. Jaden is playing really, really well. Him and his dad came up. It's still, you can't beat the week when you have the Izzo alumni come for 2 games, and a lot of them paid money from a long ways away to come, and then Jaden on a night off comes up and just wanted to see the team, and he brought his dad up, and after in the locker room, his dad was going around high-fiving everybody in our locker room. If you've ever seen any video in there, we have this big giant circle with national championships, 2 of them on there, and there's a spot for a 3rd one. And nobody's allowed to step on that. That was a rule they made how many years ago, Mike? The players made the rule, So Magic comes in one day, and he was addressing the team, and he went walking across it, and they said, whoa. He's got different rules than the rest of us. Don't be telling him what to do. He's got any rules he wants.
Yeah, Jesus can walk on holy ground.
Yeah. So
that goal.
But Jaden's dad started walking on it, and Jaden jumped him.
Right.
And it was funny, but his dad was so fired up, and it makes you realize, that when you leave, you never take things as good as you got them. I mean, I don't either. You don't either. But when they go and then they come back and then they talk to you or the team about how it is now, and how I was sitting at my computer, which I don't ever get on my computer. I've got a.
Thank God you don't.
Yeah. I never used it. I never sent an email on it because I was told don't send anything. They'll FOIA everything. So it never happened. But so things flash up there. Well, the championship team with Xavier and Cassius and all those flashed up a big picture. So I took a picture of it, and then the next picture was a picture of Xavier. So I took a picture of that. I said to the Xavier, McQuaid, Tum,
Right.
you can't believe the texts I got back from those guys. I die to be back there.
Oh,
And so, this and that. And those things are pretty cool. So when the players come back, we got Jay Vincent back this time,
Right.
and
Right.
Jay's got to learn how to wave to the fans and everything. I'm going to tell Jay, but Jay stopped by the office. And but you wouldn't believe the number of guys that come back to games. And it's Jaden. I'm glad that people welcome me. Jaden was a great example of what I just said about you and everybody else. Me too. Didn't appreciate Jaden. And Jaden was a 3A student. Jaden was the best defensive player.
Right.
One of the best in the league. And all of a sudden we're struggling in that area at the 2 guard. And I told him I love him a lot more now than I did last year.
Well, since you're talking about defense when you bring up his name, and Mike, feel free to jump in on this one. We always talk about shooting and some of these things, but I mentioned this to Tom in our pregame chat yesterday. If you take a look at the people we are playing, and I'll just start with the Nebraska game. When we went to Nebraska, and it was in the greatest atmosphere for them ever. They're averaging some 80 points a game, obviously doing quite well. We held them to 58. Southern Cal, 51. Northwestern can score, 66. Indiana, they have some real scores, 60. So at the end of the day, this defense really seems to kind of be lighting it up in their own little way.
Yeah, it's probably better than I think. I just see all the open threes and the things that drive me crazy. But that's good too. I should have brought it with me. I read a great thing Nick Saban wrote today about the disease of me and what hurts you, complacency, entitlement. Right. There are like 5 things. It was really good. And being satisfied is definitely something that hurts you. And so I said, well, man, I'm safe on that one. I'm never satisfied, I mean, ever. And but I've enjoyed, what this team has done through stretches. It's consistency right now that I'm really striving for. We shoot free throws every night for a game. We shoot 90-some%. We've just been even my best shooter missed actually 3 or 4. They stepped in on 2 of them. And, we have been, Cohen's been shooting the ball really well in practice and he's struggled in the games and just got to live with it. I mean, if to a certain extent, because I believe in him. And I say all that, and we're 15-2, and we lost 2 games to 2 teams that are like 34-1 or something, aren't they?
Yeah, Duke's lost once, and Nebraska hasn't lost.
So that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Well, Chief, when you can play a lineup with 2 6'11", 4 and 5 men, or center and power forward, for those of you who don't know what 4 or 5 mean, and they're trying to go small on you, that's an advantage. And I thought that last night he thought that he was going to make you size down to him, and we kept, we hung with our lineup and with our size, and in the end it just wore them down. We were getting every offensive rebound and every putback, and we were more physical than they were.
Well, that was the game plan. That's a very, very good evaluation, Mike, that we thought Cooper could guard their small forward that was going small ball, and he did a pretty good job. And then our size, we out-rebounded them by 19 or something.
Absolutely.
That really was a big advantage to us. But they did a pretty good job doubling the post, so we couldn't take advantage of them, of scoring in that respect. But we're starting to, do some things better, and yet
but you mentioned they were doubling the post, and a lot of times they were doubling off fears.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks that they can double off fears, but now on that kick out and the long closeout, he's going around that guy, and it's
yeah, he did a good job. That was one of his best games, and
drinking their own poison.
Yeah. And I thought both of our freshmen played pretty well.
Yeah,
our freshmen are getting better, and we just got to get, Kerr shot it well. you know, if we could go
Wow.
back 50 years to Iowa women's basketball, remember they played
Right. Offense.
offense on one end and a
Defense
separate
on
group
the-
played defense on the
Right.
other. My guys got to play both, and some of them don't understand that. The shooters,
Oh,
and why I'm
boy.
so high on the kid we got, Josiah, you know,
Mhm.
Jervis, I just kept saying to my guys, he's a Gary Harris, you know. And
Oh,
you
wow.
you recruited Gary.
Wow.
He can shoot it and he can guard it. And that's
Oh.
almost un-American now.
Yeah,
You're not allowed to
absolutely.
be able to do both, you know. So
Absolutely. You don't
that's
see
one
it
thing
much
that
anymore.
these guys got to keep working on. Can they do both? By the way, Jackson Kohler is the top 3-point shooter in the Big Ten. Must be great coaching. Damn right. Okay, I'll read a card. Auto Owners Insurance, simple human sense. Ask your independent agent if auto owners make sense for you. We're live from Lansing with the head coach of the Spartans, Tom Izzo, and our show is presented by Auto Owners Insurance. You're listening to the Tom Izzo Show.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the seat view feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Do that. And we're back live on the Tom Izzo Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Well, Tom, we got a question for you.
Hey, Coach, this may be a little off the wall, but
So is Mike. So
You know who made me
noticed
that
this
way,
year
right?
That almost every game we get a lane violation on a free throw against us or against them. Are you guys doing something that's like throwing people off? Because it seems like every single game.
do I look like that kind of guy that would do that? Hell no. You know, Jeremy has that, he locks it in, you know. Now we have played against people that kind of did that, but he does that and Cooper does the same thing. And it is amazing, though. We're laughing on the bench how many, and I wish I could take credit for that. That'd be a hell of a move by me, but I can't.
I thought you might.
Yeah.
Well, let me speak to that, and that goes way back to remember when we had Jason Richardson in our group, and we would always get the missed free throw back. We had a play that we would run to get it back, and
You know what it was? We'd miss, he'd jump over everybody and dunk it.
absolutely.
It took a lot of coaching on that one.
But for real, and that changed the rule where you couldn't have a third person in there on the free throw line. And what they're afraid of is that we're going to get it. So they're trying to beat you in, beat our kid in there before he can get in there and get it.
It's funny you bring it up, though, because it was brought up to me last night. I told the refs at the end of the game, I said, are they complaining about that? Because I got people laughing behind me, and they said, no, he knows it wasn't on purpose. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't trick him like that. Don't need to.
I thought about asking this question last night, and then at the very beginning of the game, it happened again. I said, now I know I have to.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yes.
All right. You just brought up big guys. I've noticed in the past couple of years, people don't follow out like Peplowski, Elegante. Back then, you'd wait. You're like, oh my gosh, they're falling out. We got to do, and you'd watch them. Oh, they have 4. They have 5. So I don't know if it's gotten more disciplined or they don't do so much, but I don't. When's the last time?
It's a good point. Nobody fouls out anymore.
I know, but it happened a lot in the past.
Oh yeah. Well, first of all, those two guys were I mean, those guys were hatchet men. They were.
I mean, there are others too, but
those two guys fouled guys in the locker room before we came out, so they had 2 fouls against them before we even started. Ellen and Gagne, we used to have a sheet in the training room. Is this right or wrong?
No.
Shoot, and it called something like the people maimed.
It was
he had a list of people. This guy's hip, this guy's arm, this guy's, and our trainer Tom McCoyak had a list of them, and it was a long list. But so Al was worse than Mike. But those two guys were known for fouling, and but now I mean, I think these younger guys, in the last 5 years, you can't foul because then you wouldn't be in the game. And if you're not in the game, you couldn't get more NIL money. So they say, I just won't guard anybody. I won't foul out.
I hope it doesn't come back to that.
Well, Al has a claim to fame.
What?
A record that can never be broken.
Oh, yeah.
You remember he how many fouls was it? And he had
he had 1 on the jump ball.
Yeah, he had a 1 on. No, seriously, you guys don't remember that? He had a foul on the jump ball, and he had 3 fouls in under 10 seconds or something. No, seriously, this guy. Oh,
so you asked a good question. We gave you a bad answer, but
right, we did.
But I like those kind of questions.
Al,
he really got a foul in the jump.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah. He grabbed the guy's arm.
Oh, that's crazy.
I said, Al, why? Come on, man. Oh, it's interesting. But, somebody asked me off the air that, the media kind of expounded on something that happened at our place a week ago instead of praising our women for starting out at 16-1 and what they're doing. And you have to understand that is, do you watch anything on TV? Like I'm working and I got something on, and I'm not a big, I don't love all the people on TV, but sometimes there's just information you want to get in that. And it's amazing how they find negative things in everything there is. I mean, if it's positive, it's like it doesn't sell. And so I do think our women deserve a lot of credit. They're 16-1. They're off to one of their best starts, and give them credit.
Yeah. The foul thing, what is your rule of thumb? Because a couple guys have hung out with you on the bench a lot in the first half when they picked up that second foul. Do you have a rule of thumb there?
I used to never play a guy. Now, Jeremy last week, I played him. It kind of depends on how the game goes. To be honest with you, it depends who the officials are. If I know the official and maybe he said, that was a bad call. They say that like once every 10 years. But when you've been here 30 years, it's pretty good. I get a couple times. But when that happens, then I'd feel comfortable that they aren't going to call something real close. But it all depends on the score, the officials that are there, the game. There's a lot of reasons, but for the most part, if I can hang in there without get a guy a third foul in the first half, it's not good.
Not good. By the way, nobody's fouled out all year for Michigan State. We're over, and that's a good thing, right?
And yeah, that is a good thing.
Chief, mentioning Robin and the great job that she's doing. I often think about this. A lot of men coach the women's game. Do you ever think there's going to come a time when we're going to see a woman actually coach a men's college basketball team?
Oh yeah. I mean, whatchamacallit from South Carolina?
Don Staley.
Don Staley. She was interviewed by the New York Knicks.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Sure, I think that'll come. We have. If you can coach, you can coach. It doesn't matter what sport or what thing. And speaking of that, we're going out to Seattle, and we just found out today the 49ers are staying at the same hotel we're at because they play. We play at 3, they play at 5 that night.
Wow!
So that'll be kind of fun. We have one of our former, our stats guys that's with the 49ers now, so it'll be fun.
Wow.
And
Ben Klein.
Yeah. Question?
Yes, go ahead.
Hi. Tina Sager Pentecost. And how much money has been raised for the 3-pointers now between the men and the women?
Well, I can answer that.
We're doing a little better.
Okay, on the men's side, $3,250. On the women's side, $18,000. No, I'm only kidding.
Oh my God!
That was too easy. I'm sorry.
Just think, and we're 15-2. Just think if I was 2-15.
They're at 3,650. So total is 6,900. So we're ahead of last year.
So what are we? We're only 300 behind them.
Yeah.
Oh hell, that's no problem.
By the way, Spartans Dream Big and MSU Federal Credit Union is here to support you every step of the way. Whether your goal is to pay off a student loan, build your dream home, or save for retirement, MSU FCU has you covered. MSU Federal Credit Union, the official credit union of Spartan Athletics. So, we'll be back with more of the Tom Izzo Show presented by Auto Owners Insurance in a moment as you're on the Spartan Media Network.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the seat view feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
There's a difference between an answer and a Michigan answer. It starts with our team and people like you. University of Michigan Health Sparrow is hiring for a wide variety of roles at all experience levels. Unlock your potential and discover a fulfilling career at one of our award-winning hospitals and health centers. We make a difference every day, together. Join us at careers.uofmhealthsparrow.org.
Experiencing a Spartans game is a lot like life. We honor traditions. We shed tears for a loss, but also for a win. And every time we step on the field, it's a chance for greatness. Farm Bureau Insurance sees the connection and is a proud supporter of Michigan State athletics. From financial security to a helping hand, Farm Bureau understands the experience matters. Find an agent who can protect what matters to you.
Meet, greet, and compete in Michigan's capital city. The Lansing Sports Commission is dedicated to helping you host your next athletic tournament or event in Greater Lansing. Our free services include everything from event development and tournament planning to promotions and recruiting volunteers. No matter the sport, the LSC can make your next event your best event. Plan on something greater. Find details at lansingsports.org.
Thanks for joining us for the Tom Izzo Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance here at 1 North. MSU doing pretty good. 5-1 in the Big Ten, 15-2 overall, ranked 12th in all the land. And we've talked about defense. I should also mention, and you look at the core of this program over Tom's now 31 years as head coach. Nobody talks a lot about this, but this is about the best rebounding team in America. We're the best rebounding team in terms of margins in the Big Ten. We talked about this yesterday. This ball club is the number one defensive efficiency rebounding team in all of the country, 10th in offense. So it's interesting how these quiet things, the defense, the rebounding, they're like seem to be sliding under the radar, but they're critical.
Well, you know, it's a great time of year because when the NFL games are going on, you know, believe it or not, the other day I took it was the Packers one time. It was that game at Chicago, and, you know, missed field goal, missed extra point. Special teams are so big, and Mike and I, we set up something many years ago that, you know, our free throws and baseline out of bounds, sideline out of bounds, jump ball, and after timeouts was kind of our special teams, and we kind of built around that. And, you know, that missed extra point probably cost the Green Bay Packers, which probably cost the kicker his job. It could cost the coach his job. It's just amazing what's going on right now. Same thing happened at Baltimore when they played Pittsburgh, you know. So I made my video guy get some highlights of that and showed my team that to say, this is how, this is how crazy and fast things can change, you know, because they just, when you're 20, you just don't appreciate all these little things. But defense travels, never changed. You know, our good friend Henry Bulla used to come to my practices and said, as long as you play defense, you got a chance to win. And we've played pretty good defense over the years, which means we rebounded the ball pretty well, which means we ran pretty well. And those three things have carried us. And that's why I think we've been somewhat consistent.
Yep. And from the games I've seen, and Mike, you can jump in on this one, I think Michigan State's the toughest and the badassest team in this conference. I see it every game. And
quit serving Will. Somebody's serving Will too much up here.
I just thought I'd throw that in there.
I thought I'd be honest.
Okay, we have a question, Tom.
All right, your favorite subject, but you mentioned about how it depends on the refs, you know, for letting people back in after fouls. I know KP used to track. Are you still tracking, like, how many refs have worked how many nights in a month? Has there been any more traction on that?
We gave up on that because when it got to be a couple guys working 29, 30 out of 31 days, it was kind of nauseous. Yeah. And then you don't, you know, you look at the guy and he looks tired coming in. Then I think of myself and how tired I'd be. And yet his livelihood doesn't depend on me, but my livelihood does depend on him. And, you know, I talked to a couple of the older officials that said they finally realized that, you know, they'd only do 3 or 4 games a week. That's still a lot when you think of the travel, especially now we got Big Ten officials going out to California to, you know, then taking red eyes back. And they're independent. No, they're independent contractors, and you know, it's
trying to make money.
Everybody's trying to make money. So
you know what was crazy in the old days? Those guys would come off. We would watch them. We would actually watch them the night before on a West Coast game, and we knew that guy was going to come and have to do our game at like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock.
That happened at Michigan one year.
I mean,
we watched California play Stanford, and it was a 9 o'clock game our time. So the game ended at midnight our time. And we had a 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock game in Ann Arbor. And he must have taken the red eye. And you know, and I didn't. I just said, "Hey, how was the game last night?" As I shook his hand.
I mean,
and then under my breath said about 19 Hail Marys and a few other things. Yeah, that's true. Yes, got a question. I like this. Questions.
So, team chemistry seems like it's very key to success. The national championship team seem to have a great team chemistry. This team seems very connected, very team oriented. So where do you rank them, and how important is that to your success?
I can count on one hand over the 30 years where I thought our chemistry wasn't good. And if you look at the correlation between the record and that, it's pretty high. But, there were so many years it's been so good. And it's fostered by us when we set it up. And then the players have taken over. I was talking to Pat about that the other day. That's the problem with the way it is now. You have to develop my theory on a player-coach team. I told Cam Ward today, I said he's the luckiest human being on the planet because he's got Coop and Jax, and every day they're talking to him and Jesse. And it's not the coach, it's not me, it's those guys. And when you get coached by your teammates, that means you're getting coached by them when you go back to the locker room. You're getting coached by them when you go to eat together. You get a coach by them when hanging around at night. And team chemistry, to me, is the most important. Now, we're going to find out because there's going to be with this wild west that we have out there, it's going to be a little crazier. But if you look at the teams right now that have been consistent over 5 or 10 years, Wisconsin and Michigan State and Purdue, they've all had that chemistry, that they've all had one or two coaches. Somebody told me last night, one of the media guys, I think that was the 8th Indiana coach I went against. I mean, think about that. The 8th.
That's not good.
I mean, so that either means I've been around 100 years, or we're firing people. We're firing people right and left.
Well, since Bobby and I left, Tom, Indiana's leading the way in getting rid of coaches.
Serious?
Yeah.
That's
crazy. Well, they're going to get caught by a lot of people the way it is right now, and it's sad because it's going to hurt a lot of things, I think. And I guess that's one of the reasons I'm lucky where I work and who I've worked for and who's worked for me. And, it's part of the DNA here. And I feel fortunate. And that's why I've never had an agent or anything. I just said, I'm going to deal with the president. I'm going to deal with the AD myself. And that way it doesn't get mixed up and then hard feelings. And do you lose a little bit? Maybe, but do you gain a lot? I think I have. Yeah. So I've been lucky.
Okay, you got to hold off on the questions a second. Don't go anywhere. It's now time for the Alumni Hall Trivia. Today's winner gets a ticket to our next home game, a couple tickets, $25 gift card to the Alumni Hall. So here is the trivia question. This is a good one. Michigan State men's basketball, right? They have picked up win 497 at the Breslin Center with the win over Indiana last night. So here is the question as we celebrate the Breslin Center with more wins. Who did MSU beat in the very first game ever played at the Breslin Center? That's the question. What was the first victim in the Breslin Center for Michigan State? So think about it. Don't go to your phones, and we'll get your answer and maybe get some tickets out and some cash in a moment. The Tom Izzo Show is presented by Auto Owners Insurance. We'll be back with more after this break on the Spartan Media Network.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
From the biggest of the big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go. Go.
Run, James!
No. First base.
Go, go, go! Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street. You're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Really smart. Unfortunately, I didn't check if I left the pizza box on top of my car before driving home. Not smart. Oh, and a semi just turned my deep dish into a thin crust.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. Potential savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part, they accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide, based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
And welcome back. Auto Owners presents the Tom Izzo Show. Hey, don't forget, Michigan State men's basketball is brought to you by Rocket Mortgage. And Rocket is helping more Americans own more of America. Your journey starts at rocketmortgage.com. Rocket, own the dream. Well, the Alumni Hall trivia question in front of everybody here this evening is, who was the first team to lose to Michigan State at the Breslin Center?
To lose or to play?
To play. You said to play.
To play.
Sorry. Well, you know what?
What's in that coffee, man?
I don't know. Okay, who did MSU beat in the first game played at the Breslin Center? So I was half right. We won the first game we played here.
Was it Nebraska?
Despite me, yes. It was Nebraska.
Wow.
November 29th, 1989. How about that? And they were not a member
you know
of the
what?
Big Ten.
Mike Peplowski was fouling people then.
Stinginger played in that game.
Yeah.
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 Did Big Country play for them then?
No.
He was at Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
State, yeah. He was a dude.
All right, we have another question.
Okay, fire away.
Okay, Mike, you said we could ask silly questions.
Yes, you can.
Okay, it's a silly question. You have anything to do with the scheduling of the games, Tom?
Yeah, I do. I have something to do with our non-conference games. The conference games, I don't have anything to do with the schedule, what time it's at, where it's at, when it's at, nothing.
Are you planning on celebrating your birthday after we beat Michigan?
I don't know. That'll be our toughest game so far. I'm sure of that. But I will.
I'm sure you realized that some time ago, right?
Yeah, but it wasn't planned that way.
Well, I would hope not. Yeah. I can think of better ways to celebrate your birthday.
Really? I couldn't think of any better way if we won, but
Okay.
but that's down the road.
That is.
Unfortunately, we got 4 or 5 games before them.
Yeah. And but that'll come up, I'm sure, more than once. Frankly, you want to join us for the Michigan Sports Brief every weekday on all of our Spartan Network affiliated stations, presented by Frankenmuth Insurance. Find a local independent agent near you by visiting fmins.com. Well, we'll be back with more of the Tom Izzo Show presented by Auto Owners Insurance in a moment as you are listening to the Tom Izzo Show.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Sometimes we're asked if you need to be a Spartan to be a member of Michigan State University Federal Credit Union. The answer is no. To be an MSU FCU member, you just need 3 things. 1, you love saving money and earning cash back. 2, you have a passion for supporting your community, just like we do. 3, when it comes to your future, you prefer to dream big. If this sounds like you, visit msufcu.org to get started. Of course, if you want to cheer on MSU, we're totally on board with that too. Go green.
From the biggest of the big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go. Go.
Run, James!
No. First base.
Go, go, go!
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street. You're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
Hear that roar? That's the sound of Spartan Nation. And Dean Trailways is right there, every mile of the way. As the official ground transportation provider of Michigan State Athletics, we connect Spartans to championships. For every game, every practice, every victory, we deliver it. Elite service that powers the green and white. When you demand championship-level transportation, Dean Trailways is your winning drive. Become part of our team at deantrailways.com.
And we're back with more of the Spartan Basketball Tom Izzo Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Hey, don't forget, when you shop Meijer, you support hundreds of local teams across the Midwest, from big league stadiums to the neighborhood ball fields. Learn more at Meijer.com/community. And we talked about this a little bit earlier, and the Abboud Law Firm sponsoring the Beyond the Arc campaign. Every time we make a 3, $25 is donated to the Izzo Legacy Foundation. So thanks to the Abboud Law Firm for supporting the Izzo Legacy Foundation. And it looks like we're going to blow past the 10,000 mark where we were last year. Right now, collectively, we're almost at $7,000, and there's a whole lot of basketball game to go. So
I think Robin better get going, because last year they raised a lot more money than us. So we're where we should be. She's got to get going a little bit.
That's rough. She's 16-1 and she's getting it. Wow. This is a tough crowd.
Oh, no, I'm proud of her. That's great. Question.
Hi, Coach. Here's to you and the Lady Spartans for a great start. It's amazing. Time to talk a little football. Give us your thoughts on the championship game coming up and the incredible job done by Kurt Signetti. Have you got any thoughts about him, how he coaches? It just, to turn that around the way he did, it's beyond belief.
Well, he really did a hell of a job, but he brought a lot of guys with him from the school he was at. They were really successful there. And then he picked up a few guys, but, he's a Nick Saban disciple, and he's kind of like Nick in a lot of ways. I told Nick he's even ornerier than you are. He never smiles, and
right.
But it's been fun to watch, to be honest with you. And hey, this could be the 3rd year in a row the Big Ten wins the national championship. So it's all go IU for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
But Chief, you talk about winning, and we both believe this way. And there was a gentleman asked about culture, and that's why he's winning.
Yeah.
I mean, his culture there in that shorter period of time. I mean, it took us at least 2 or 3 years to get to that.
Yeah, and I think that's what helped when he brought 20-some guys. I think.
Well, you know what? That's a great point. But relationship-driven leadership leads to relationship-driven living, and that turns into relationship-driven success because everybody's on the same page, and you're going to win. And that's what he's built it on. And you look at any of those programs, it's all about relationship, man. Anybody that thinks differently, they're out of their mind.
One last question. Did you and Mooch grow up Lions fans or Packers?
Oh no, we were Packer fans. Of course, I mean it was 95 miles from our house. You know, Vince Lombardi and the Green Bay Packers, man. That you lived, eat, and slept that up there. Most Yoopers were Packer fans, and I told you the story that Mariucci and I were honored in a parade about 15 years ago when we won the national championship. No, we went to a Final Four that year, and whenever it was, we were in there, and he was with the 49ers at the time, and he got to the game. The Packers beat him to go to the Super Bowl. And so we're in the car riding, in this parade, big parade. I think there was 3 cows and a couple of a band and a couple of floats, and they were booing my boy, because they are like Packer nuts up there, and but that's been fun too, because I do know Matt LaFleur a little bit. His dad, he grew up in at Central Michigan, so he's been a good guy, gone through hell. You watch what John Harbaugh's gone through, a guy that's really been good, and I had another roommate that worked for him for 12 years, and it's just crazy what's going on out there. But I think it's going to get worse before it gets better, and we'll see where that takes us.
One more question, Tom.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, Tom, a Packers fan, Badger alum here. Growing up in Wisconsin, I've always thought of Michigan State as being a basketball school. But I got some friends around here who say that you would beg to differ and say that it's a football school instead. I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, it's definitely for what I'm hoping it's both, because there's very few boths. Very few schools have had multiple success in both. That was what was so cool. And 2015, I from about 8 to 15, 16, D'Antonio and I, we were winning championships. They were winning championships. We were in the Final Four in 15. They were in the Final Four in 15. And I think that was utopia, but we all have to understand one thing, and I mean this, I don't mean it just financially. Right. I mean it even with the exposure of an institution. Football is just so big, and it's so important, and it's important to my recruiting. I mean, bringing kids there, like it's been fun because Pat's had, a bunch of kids in the locker room after the last 3 games, and and that's the way it should be. We work together. I remember bringing Chris Webber into the locker room when George Perlis was here, and Bubba Smith was there that day, and those are the fun things that you get to do. And when you got both going together, which Wisconsin has had that a little bit over there, Michigan and Ohio State have had it, but it's not been, Penn State hadn't, Alabama hadn't. Now that they have, Florida had it a little bit. Where both when Urban Meyer and Billy were there, they had it going. But you couldn't name 10 schools that have really been that successful in both. And I'm hoping before I leave, that's us. And maybe we'll throw in hockey and women's basketball. And the hell with it. We'll just get them all.
There you go.
Thank
you.
You're welcome.
Spartan fans know everybody needs a timeout now and then, so why not take yours at the beach? Myrtle Beach is home to 60 miles of warm, sandy beaches, over 2,000 restaurants, and much more. Enter now for a chance to win your very own beach break getaway. Compliments of Visit Myrtle Beach. Go to visitmyrtlebeach.com/MSU to enter. Your ultimate beach break is just a click away. And don't forget, we're live at One North Kitchen and Bar in Lansing for all the Spartan Coaches shows. One North Kitchen and Bar, making good times great. We'll be back with more of the Coach Tom Izzo Show in a moment, right here on the Spartan Media Network.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the seat view feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Brewed for the fans who can't stop shouting "shoot it," and the driveway heroes who still call raindrops on every brick. Make fun of a ref through the TV like he can hear you, then miss 3 straight free throws on your buddy's hoop. Argue every foul, celebrate every layup, and somehow think you're running the offense from Section 312. But that's the beauty of it. Basketball isn't just about the court, it's the noise, the passion, and the Labatt you're holding while you live it. Labatt, we're brewed for the roast. Enjoy responsibly. Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York.
Spartans, when it's game time, it's One North time. Just minutes from Michigan State University, One North Kitchen and Bar is your go-to spot for scratch cooking and world-class hospitality. When you're celebrating a win or catching up with friends, we've got the perfect dish to make every moment special. Join us for the MSU Coaches Show and get closer to the action with the voices that bring Spartan spirit to life. Visit One North Kitchen and Bar, where Spartan pride meets memorable meals.
Hey, Spartan fans, it's college basketball season, and SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of airballs and alley-oops. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be part of all the courtside action this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to MSU basketball games or to any other live event in East Lansing, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of MSU basketball. Go green, go white, SeatGeek.
And thanks for joining us here at One North for the Tom Izzo Show presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Next up, it's a West Coast swing. We have Washington on Saturday, Oregon there on Tuesday. So, and you got a nice trip planned for everybody, it seems like.
Yeah, we're going out there tomorrow and get acclimated. And like I said, staying at the same hotel. I wish I could go to the Seattle game if we could win a game and go. But after that, we're going to truck down to Portland. It's about 2.5, 3 hours, I guess. And on Sunday, that would be we're gonna work out there in the LeBron Center, and I'm gonna give my players get a tour of Nike, which will be really, really good. Their campus and everything, and then that night we'll go out to dinner, and then the next day, I think we'll practice there, then bus down to Eugene, and that's another, I don't know, hour and something, and then we'll play there. Then the killer trip comes, Then we fly back and get in at about 6:30 in the morning on Wednesday morning after the game, and try to go to school and to get ready for a game by Saturday. So it's going to be a brutal week, but a good week, I hope. And I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. Enjoy the games on TV if you can stay up that late.
And if you can't, just take the radio to bed with you.
There you go.
So I hope you can join us when we get ready for our game at Washington coming up Saturday. Airtime, 6 o'clock. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.
You've been listening to the Auto Owners Insurance presentation of the Tom Izzo Show, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense. The Tom Izzo Show is also brought to you by One North Kitchen and Bar, making good times great. SeatGeek, the official ticket marketplace of MSU Athletics. Labatt Blue Light, we're brewed for the roast. Meyer, supporting hundreds of sports teams across the Midwest. Coors Light, choose chill. Dean Trailways, the official ground transportation provider of Spartan Athletics. Make Dean Trailways your favorite ride. The Tom Izzo Show is a presentation of Playfly Sports in partnership with Michigan State Athletics. All rights reserved. Join us next time on this network station for all the Spartan basketball action on the Spartan Media Network.